Welcome, travelers of the internet, to Braham Recording. This is your host, Master Barkle, with Pillars of Eternity. We left off saying we're going to go to House Dominel for the animancy hearing delegations. So we got to prove ourselves a rogue. We got to be a gangster, see? Yeah.
Not a problem.
You got quite a house. Is that a statue there? How did I miss this loot from earlier? Royce. Sweet. Dominel, Dorman. What's up?
Welcome.
I wanted to ask the Dominels about attending the animancy hearings. You'll be wanting to speak with Master Abrican about that, then? Right this way. Of course.
Mines filled, edged with copper and knives. Such greed.
What do you mean? What's wrong with that? Oh, here he is. A young man leaned against an expensive-looking gall-glass cabinet. He holds a jewel-studded goblet in one hand and an ornate pistol in the other. He grins with wine-stained lips.
Our doormen seem to think it important that you meet with me. Speak.
I want in the Duke's animancy hearings. Balance. The Duke's stuck between ignorant fanatics and power-hungry soldiers. But that's the way of things in Defiance Bay. We're just trying to see that neither group gains undue influence. Yeah, I agree with that. And it doesn't hurt that there's profit to be made in discord. I need an invitation. And you want to worm your way into House Dominel's good graces to get one. Is that it? I honestly think you would make a better ally. True. But the real question is whether you would be a useful ally to us. Let's put you to the test. One of my men planned a heist, and he passed the instructions to the thieves using my personal letterhead, bearing my initials. Okay. He breaks into a smile again, but his grip has tightened around his pistols. I need that letter. The thieves are holed up in a house in Copper Lane. Fetch the missive, and we'll see about finding you a place in House Dominel. Alright. Sounds easy enough. Recovered a note in his initials, A.D. Add. What house was it, though? Probably not Pernisk's house, right? Umdala's house? I don't know, maybe it's not labeled. Oh, here's a house. It is unmarked. If any house was to be heisted, it'd be this one. You guys the people? Right, everyone knows the plan? Up the wall and in the window. Grab the jewel for the pretty lord. We got it. Listen, dwarf, if I have to... Langdon, we have company. Relax. Abrican sends his regards. He wants the ladder back. I have no idea what you're talking about. His hand is still on his blade. He appears to be caught off guard. Just don't make me take that letter from you. Just hand it over. Make a good point. Take this back to the boss. Maybe you could put in a good word for us. If I remember, of course. Oh, level up. Got some money on the table? Yeah, what's over here, huh?
I can do that.
What's that? Ooh,
That's
treasure.
settled.
Like that. Okay. Well, see you guys around.
Say a Rawatai artillery in Tekoa. We have a memorial for the Saints' War. They say a Rawatai artillery master contributed to the god Hammer.
To be a part
I
of this
wondered
history. Crow about how your people helped the Dyrwood. Maybe your Ranganui lied, Amawa.
On second thought, I'll ask Adair.
Okay. Good to see you guys getting along so well.
Have you procured the letter?
Yep, here it is.
Nicely done.
After examining it, he folds it into a tiny square and tucks it into his doublet.
And now I have another job, as you know, after reading the letter.
I didn't read the letter. Sorry. What is it? Oh, a conscientious thief. Well, allow me to enlighten you. Lord Raymond is sitting on a gem the size of an Amawa's testicles. It's called the Heart of the White March. It's also the subject of a bidding war between the Knights of the Crucibles and the Dozens. They're fighting for the honor of returning it to its original dwarven owners, who would make powerful allies. Of course, House Dominel would like to see that neither the Knights nor the Dozens make friends with the Dwarves of Whitemarch. Such an imbalance of power would not be in our best interest. Our contact in Raymond's estate will leave a window open, sneak into the upper level of Raymond's manor, and find the jewel. Then, bring it to me. Alright, sure. Excellent. Remember, stealth is key. The last thing that I want a bloody feud with the neighbors. That I want is a bloody feud with the neighbors, right? Come back when you have the Heart of White March. Don't fail me. I've avoided my share of Glenfathan scouts, mostly by running. But searching a heavily guarded estate is not quite like combing through an empty tomb. Sure. There's nothing else. Be on your way. Okay. Sweet. Adair leveled up.
So you will go to your king and what? Implore him to curb his violent impulses? At the word of a heroic academic?
You don't usually grace me with your flattery, priest. What merits this attention?
All Rawatai's history is war, same as everyone. If only the world were led by soft-hearted giants who waste their muscles stroking their own quills. Oh, wouldn't that be grand?
I'm content to remain a burr in your boots. But here, if you but stand on the docks, you can single-handedly ensure no one ever sails to the Dyrwood again.
Durance, your voice is breaking up there a bit. You alright there? Is Margaret calling you to heaven again? So there's gonna be a window on Raymond Manor. Huh? Okay. Is that the window? The mortared stone wall is sheltered by the eaves. A knotty green vine climbs all the way up to an open window. 2 ornate shutters seem to beckon you in. You give the vines a shake. They're thick and sturdy in your hands, but near the top they look flimsier. You might be able to make it to the top if you're quick. I mean, I'm pretty quick. You begin to ascend. As you rise, you feel the vines begin to give way beneath your weight. You quickly pull yourself the rest of the way up, grabbing the bottom of the windowsill. You perch atop the windowsill and steady yourself against the frame while the breeze cools your back. You detect movement inside the house. Blinking as your eyes adjust to the dim interior, you slip inside the manor.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
Alrighty. Got some money over here. Nice. Nice. Money over here. We got more money over here. Oh, it's just a book. The Light of Dawn. A Red Seren morality play. Part 2. Compassion and Judgment. Interesting. Anybody out there? Hello? There's a secret something.
Let's see what's in here.
Crap. Oh. There's a Raymond guard. Okay. Nothing else in here? It's good. Just the one guard. Heart of White March. Well, that's what we needed. That dadgum pig. Alrighty. Only one guard got killed.
Quick and quiet.
We got some level ups to do. Alrighty, we're ready to scamper on down the window. The vines groan and strain, but you pick your way to the bottom before they collapse under you. Easy heisting job. No problemo. Alrighty, Mr. Domino. Alrighty, Abrican. We got you hot of the White March.
You have something for me, I hope?
Here it is.
Already? And without so much as a sneeze from the guards next door. Oh, very discreet indeed.
Bam. This should keep the knights and the dozens in their place.
A rare prize indeed. Take this. You've earned it.
Wowzer.
My father, Gedmar, will be pleased to learn that I've acquired such a gem. And an ally. Go and speak with him upstairs. He's been looking for someone with your skill.
Oh, yeah. Tell the guards you're a distant cousin. They'll understand. Alrighty. We got a few more level ups to do. So where is the father of the house? Where is he? Picanta. This must be his office right here. Here we are. The guard gives you a respectful nod. That's right. You step out of the way. Lord Gedmar Dominel is a man of presence. He wears finery in style of idea and nobility, yet there are scars across his knuckles and burns on his neck that few high-born bear. My son mentioned that you're in need of an invitation to the palace hearings. I can provide that, as well as advancement in my house, in exchange for your capable service. I believe we can work out an arrangement. However, you must understand that such an arrangement will no doubt put you in opposition to the Knights of the Crucible, and, to a lesser degree, the Dozens. Alright, sure, nod. You know how to hold your tongue. Very good.
Know my terms before we proceed. You've served my house well thus far. Individuals of your skill are always in demand in House Dominel. What I require will be both dangerous and illegal, which you have no doubt surmised.
No problem for me. Failure will mark you an enemy of House Dominel and of many other powers in Defiance Bay. His feet make no sound as he crosses the velvet carpet. Tempers are rising in the city, and many are quick to perceive a threat. You will have to accept this task without foreknowledge of the details. I expect nothing less than absolute loyalty from someone seeking the favor of my house. If this is asking too much, now is the time to withdraw. Should you succeed, however, you will be rewarded most generously. House Dominel is a wealthy and powerful ally. Do we have an accord? I accept your terms.
My forefathers taught the citizens of Defiance Bay to fear and respect the Dominel name. In the wake of Hadrit's rebellion, establishing a reputation was most expedient. We don't live in the same world as they. Trouble is brewing, but this time we must be careful if we want to avoid the crossfire.
Indeed. The Knights of the Crucible have grown bold amidst the chaos. They fear the Dozens and their ability to coax an angry mob. They seek to assert their authority the only way they know how, by stomping over every other bastion of power in the city. Marshal Wenfeld has become a problem. He's taken a particular interest in some of House Dominel's business activities. He will neither be bribed nor threatened, nor convinced by any other means. He is intransigent, a weed. And if nothing is done, he will turn the full force of the Crucible Keep on us. So you want this weed pulled, I take it?
You are quick to understand. Wenfeld can be found in Crucible Keep of First Fires, one of the most well-guarded buildings in the city. His piety should make it simple enough to corner him.
His piety. So he's a bit priestly, I take it?
I want the Knights to go to war with the Dozens, not with us. Tensions are high enough that it won't take much to turn them against each other. Leave this token on the altar of Abidan in the chapel. It will send a clear message to the Knights.
Shall be done. Well, someone's going to be mad after someone after this. We know that. Ain't my problem.
I heard about your new assignment. I also heard that my father asked you to make sure the Dozens take the fall. Don't. My father's a shrewd businessman, but he's too cautious. Defiance Bay used to respect us. House Dominel needs that respect again if we're going to survive the coming changes. Don't plant the token.
At the same time, if the Knights go to war against the Dozens and they kill each other off, that makes less powers in the city, which means you'll be the one standing, which, in my opinion, kind of means you are the one there, I guess. I think I'll plant the token. Because that makes sense to me. Taxes collected. Well, only 86 copper pieces this time. All the rest in my pocket.
That's a blessing of Helia?
So they say.
Well, that's lucky. Where I'm from, we see a feathered lady, we start worrying maybe her dad got frisky with his hens.
I guess you can always trust a farm boy's head to go there first.
Yeah. I mean, it is a reasonable thing to think, but here they are. Yeah, don't worry about that whole fiasco with House Dominel, everyone. It's okay. It's alright. What business brings you to the keep? I just walked right past you. He didn't care. Novitiate. It's a heck of a title. Oh, hey, I remember you, Saida. We need to deal with Heritage Hill. Yeah, it's already been dealt with. Oh, there's Marshal Winfield. When can I get him all by himself? This is the symbol of Abaddon, a colossal smithing hammer imposed over a circular gear. It is smooth and bright with buffing oils. Maybe we can, like, talk to him, lure him into a problem, huh? Oh, hey, he's here. Convenient. Alrighty. How do I... How do I drop off the something? Oh. Is that it? There we go. There we are. Yep, nothing happened back there. Don't worry about it. Crap, I forgot to hit him with a one-liner. The tall stag sends his regards, eh? Oh, hey, Adair wants to talk.
Strange place for a shrine to Abidan, Crucible Keep. Maybe it made more sense at some point before it gathered all that dust. The only thing the Knights of the Crucible worship these days is the nobility, as far as I understand it.
That's how I understand it, too. I knew some soldiers who got recruited by the Knights after the war was over. They told me some about it. They get these young kids in there and they tell them about blacksmithing and about the revolution and about tradition. Talk about the Golem like he created the Crucible Knights in his forge to go win Dyrwood's independence. Then they join. And it turns out all any of these knights ever talk about is when they're going to get recognized and it's a real knighthood. When are we going to get our titles in our land? Their High Justice wants to be an earl, says it's Abaddon's will. He's got a castle and an army. Wonder how long he'll wait before he starts a war over it, saying Abaddon told him to. And the nobles respond that their gods told them that they're the only true nobles. Trouble with having all these gods is if you got support no matter how dumb your ideas are. Maybe we had the right idea of blowing some of them up. Less room to hide behind. Yeah, I agree with that.
Durance, do you take anything seriously? Or is the entire world just a setup for your idiotic punchlines?
The world is the punchline, Birdwoman. In all its weakness. Would you kill the messenger?
If he were as annoying as you, I'd consider it.
Yeah, Durance is kind of annoying. But he's an important part of this band of ruffians we've got going here. So, nobody kill him just yet. Alrighty, it's done, coin planted, everything like that. That way we should be the only ones at the animancy hearings.
Well done indeed. My contacts in the city already tell me of violent plots between the Crucible Knights and the Dozens. While they distract each other, we'll seize new opportunities for profit and influence. No one will be watching us, and no one will stop us.
Seem to have misjudged you. Individuals of your ferocity are rare and valued in my house. Granted, the merciless hand. Better the Romenels as allies than the Dozens, I suppose. Let it not be said that I neglect my friends. A favor for a favor, then. Consider well what you'd ask of me. It may be advantageous to have a friend like myself on your side to help with unexpected developments, particularly these days. You know what I need. I need an invitation. You shall have it. Lays a hand on your shoulder. And when you attend, I'm sure you'll keep House Dominel's interests at heart. Forgive me, but I have matters to attend to now. I trust you know the way out. Perfect. Okay.
The Dominels are certainly no friends of mine, but I'm sure they don't want to see their city torn to pieces. I can't say the same of the Dozens.
Yeah, the Dozens probably do want this place torn to pieces. Crucible Knights just want nobility and stuff like that. Dominel's probably the best choice.
I often dreamed of visiting the republics. There, at least, the people value trade.
Trade of all things, it's true. And competition between the republics keeps us strong.
Rawatai is a unified nation with fleeter ships. Someday it may prove a worthy competitor.
There's more to dominating trade than fast ships. Maybe you could write a poem to help your countrymen figure it out.
Dang. That was some real passive aggression. What about the living lands, huh? How about them? Them jungles, huh? Huh, everyone? Woo bananas.
How fares your search?
So
What of them?
I got House Dominel.
Unlikely as it may seem, House Dominel is as much responsible for maintaining the peace as the Crucible Knights. The Duke understands this, and he will hear you out if they are with you.
That's right.
You need waste no more time here. Get to the palace. Make your case to the Duke. With him on our side, all of Dyrwood can be mobilized against the Leaden Key, and Theos can be rooted out. I only wish I could be there to see it. There is a very old bottle of a very good brandy that I have been saving for a special day. If you hurry back afterward, there may be a little left for you. Off with you. You're going to do very well in there.
Alrighty. Alrighty. So the hearings are on animancy, right? Animancy is still a science that should continue, so that we can continue to understand more and more about it. Because there seems to be a lot of lost knowledge from the Ingwethans' time to now. But the thing is, the Leaden Key is putting such a dampener on it that animancers can't work efficiently, and animancers are looking evil right now. So it may be best to put animancy on a hold for now. Maybe temporarily abandon it, or maybe keep a closer eye on it. Like, make sure there's, guards in every lab for animancy or something. In case something gets out. In case, the Leaden Key shows up. All that stuff, right? And maybe if we find more machines around in the Dyrwood, maybe assign guards to them. Make sure that, the Leaden Key doesn't mess with it too much. But they're probably going to hit me with some stuff of like, oh, we don't have the manpower. Everyone's dying because of Hollowborns and all that, But something like that, right? We want to temporarily ban animancy.
Durance, just because you follow the goddess of fire doesn't mean you need to literally consume everything you come across.
The fire is a favor I grant to those I meet. It makes them stronger, or it ends them mercifully if not.
The remaining unemptied beer steins of the Dyrwood quake in fear.
Wow. And if anyone argues with the bullying of Durance...
Something funny, big man?
I'm sorry, it's just... When you started shouting, that poor man looked as if he'd piss himself.
Nothing seems to trouble you much, does it, Kana?
Oh, I don't know. I never found much use in getting worked up over the little things.
Maybe to an Omawa, it all just looks like little things.
But anyways, as I was saying, before I was rudely interrupted, Palagina, it's okay to bully Durance, because he literally joined this party saying, I don't care to speak with the others. I only wish to speak with you, Watcher. All that whatnot. So, he knew what he was getting himself into. Probably, maybe. In this courtroom here, I presume, eh? There be it. Palace has been reserved. A place has been reserved for you on the balcony. Okay. Presume up here then, huh? Very professional. They've only got 4 chairs, though. Yep, I'm attending. Here I am. Duke Avar Wolfgren. The room below is animated amidst a heated debate. All the representative groups are easily discerned in the crowd. Crucible Knights, stiff in their noisy armor, sit in one section. In another are well-dressed members of House Dominel, casual, watching with a predator's interest. Still elsewhere are the ramshackle dozens, who have made no special effort to dress up for their liege lord. Interspersed are animancers in their academics' robes with expressions either sour or concerned.
Well then, answer me this, Master Barash. If you animancers represent our best hope to cure the legacy, what progress can you demonstrate?
Ramir de Barask is originally from Palminia. He's one of the finest minds in animancy to come out of the Valian republics. He left for Defiance Bay 5 years ago, because he believed this was the true heart of animancy research.
You sense both pride and a mild sense of frustration. Interesting.
As I've said, it isn't about progress, it's about potential.
Potential?
My house would agree, Your Grace. We see great potential in its future.
And I suppose your blazing profits during the Legacy don't have nothing to do with that, do they, Dominel? You can't have it both ways no more! Animancy goes, or this country goes!
Wow, he's heated.
So you admit, Master Barask, that animancy is no closer to stopping the Legacy than it ever was.
No, we've had many promising experiments. Cadman Azo has shown...
Cadman Azo.
Cadman Azo murdered a child. For a complete failure. We should be hanging him right now for what he done. The dozens won't stand for it.
Did Cadman Azo murder the child, or one of his failed experiments that the Leaden Key was behind?
There is no need. Master Azo recently passed the Shroud, and while the experiment failed, his work...
His work was sabotaged!
Ah, our new delegate from House Dominel. What makes you say sabotage?
I bet a false patient in Brackenbury Sanitarium who had tampered with Azo's machinery.
The fuck's that even matter? These are people who would toy with the lives of our children.
What does it matter? It's the fact that you're blaming the wrong people. You're arguing with a brick wall while the actual issue is sneaking around behind you. And they're messing with your children.
Indeed. Even assuming there was sabotage, is this Animancer Azo not still accountable here?
Oh, right. Guilty or innocent. He was, going against the policies of... he should be still held accountable. Yes, I definitely believe that.
Exactly. Look at what happened in Heritage Hill. Our supposed protectors from Crucible Keep can't even clean up the messes Animancy leaves.
Your Grace, we'd have a much easier time of it if our knights weren't so occupied trying to keep their organization from igniting a revolution on our very doorstep.
She does make a point there, Mr. Dozens Man. You guys need to simmer down.
Heritage Hill is blood on your hands, Justiciar. You turn a blind eye, and look what happens.
I've been to Heritage Hill since the quarantine. Though the knights were unable to control the damage, it was not animancy, but the ancient machine that caused it.
You've some strange taste in travels, friend. The height of your tales expands with every breath.
You think some rotting corpse or volunteer guard could stand in my way? I earned my answers, the tall stag way.
I'll grant that you look the part. Tell us what you saw in Heritage Hill.
Tir Nuneth houses an Ingwithan machine that holds dominion over the flow of souls. It was this machine that made the district undead. Do you think that was the machine's purpose, or just a dire side effect? Kinda shudders. But then, why would the Ingwithans build such a machine at all?
Even if it is as you say, we have testimony that a group of animancers had been spending time there. Surely their tinkering had something to do with this.
They followed ambition blindly, taking few precautions and allowing personal feelings to get in the way of solving the problem. Most certainly did. There was the rivalry between... Crap, I'm blanking on the names, but the animancer in the tower and an animancer elsewhere in the district. There was a lot of pride in the way of, actually solving problems.
But the very purpose of these experiments is to understand. So these dangerous things can be used responsibly.
This is what it comes down to, Your Grace. Whatever their intentions, animancy's a pox. It makes a fucking wreck of everything. We all know what Widewind's legacy's really about. And it ain't about some sparkling saint from Creed Ceres who's mad because he took a stroll down the wrong bridge.
What? Ha! Wrong bridge indeed.
It's about a bunch of so-called intellectuals fucking with the natural order, while the rest of us gotta suffer for it.
Is it, though? Should we not take the time to reach a clear conclusion? I mean, what proof do we have?
That is true. There's not much evidence or proof here.
My son and daughter are buried beneath the floor of my house. We don't own no land, so that's where we lay them. My son. My wife let him slip when she was bathing him. Got water in his lungs, he couldn't cough up. My daughter? We put her to bed one night, and the next morning she wasn't breathing. This Hollowborn thing, it ain't ending. And it ain't ending because we still let these charlatans play God. There's your proof, you damn copper fucker!
Your issues don't sound like Hollowborn issues, though. It almost sounds like you might be a bad parent.
Enough, Adric. Lady Dominel makes a point. If it's animancy, then why do the other states that permit the practice not suffer the same fate? Who among us can say he truly understands why the legacy has taken hold here?
Exactly. Grieving Mother reaches towards your mind with hers. Bring order to the chaos here. I can. The crowd begins to mutter, the sound taking a doubtful character. Right idea, Watcher. Taking this hearing by the curly ones. Don't waste your chance. Widewind's legacy is the creation of the Leaden Key. Cadman Azo's downfall was their work, as was the Tower and Heritage Hill. They want you to do this. They want animancy to fall. The dull muttering expands into a din of skepticism that fills the hall. I have seen them in the ruins of Erglanfath, operating machines that disrupt and redirect the flow of souls near towns like Gilded Vale and Dyrwood, where the legacy is universal. As a watcher, I have heard their dead confess the plot. They are stealing the souls of the unborn.
Beasts. Another lunatic at the hearing. Did you remember to lock your sanitarium before you left, Master Barask?
My goodness. Why doesn't anybody believe me when I say I'm a watcher? You shame your order by dismissing the truth before hearing it, madam. I expected better from a Knight of the Crucible.
You must know, friend, that the Leaden Key is a mantle for small-time ruffians and children at play. I'm not saying you're a liar. Not yet. But you'd better start making sense of all this. Help us believe you.
We all want the same thing here. We want Widewind's legacy to end. If we work together instead of arguing, we can stop the people who are doing this. You speak truth, Watcher. Unfortunately, I fear it falls on deaf ears in this place.
No self-respecting member of the Dozens is gonna let these animancers keep casting their black magics in the same districts where there's children being born.
You need to get over that. Animancers have nothing to do with this. The Leaden Key is your enemy.
I think I can tell my friends from my enemies on my own. You better watch which side you fall on.
You've made an unexpected case, friend. I'll say that much. It seems we have a new possibility to consider, at the very least. How was it you came to learn all this?
I took a personal interest in the matter and tried to learn what I could.
Indeed. This land is foreign to you, unless I miss my guess. Your efforts on its behalf are to be commended.
Gotta take care of a new home.
But these hearings are about more than Widewind's legacy, even though that is our most pressing concern. Let's say for the moment that I were to take you at your word that our friends in Brackenbury Sanitarium and their peers bear no responsibility for this curse upon my country. I'm curious, what would you do if you were in my position?
The animancers of Dyrwood have been given too long a leash. The practice should be restricted and controlled. Pelagina shoots a glance your way, her eyebrows furrowing in annoyance.
Very well. That is all I wish to hear. Not just from you, but from everyone. Many days we've been at this. It is time we put it to rest.
Yeah.
I want to thank the delegations for helping me collect my thoughts. And our new delegate, who, if nothing else, has made this final day a little more interesting.
That's right.
The time has come to choose a direction for the Dyrwood. I am ready to make my pronouncement. Ramir de Barash, representing the interests of animancers in Dyrwood, step forward.
Your Grace.
Uh-oh.
The arguments for and against animancy are both strong in their own way.
Nobody saw that but
I
me.
must be careful in my judgment.
Forgive me, Your Grace. We will accept no judgment but our own.
What's he doing?
Assassination.
No! Avenge the Duke!
No, no, wait!
Stop this at once!
It's a bloodbath.
Yeah!
I've given you every chance to end this pursuit. Shall I end it for you?
Enough of this, Theos.
Another time. I am already late.
Ow. My head. The words, "Shall I end it for you?" ring in your ears. You find yourself gasping for breath, struggling to keep your own balance. You drop to a knee and watch as Theos hurries out of the building. The world dims around you, the screams and clashing of weapons fading to silence. All that remains are the words.
Shall I end it for you?
Theos stands at a pulpit, high above an assembly of robed onlookers. You among them, clustered around a wide circular pit carved of stone. He addresses a woman bound backward over a large iron wheel overlooking the great stone maw. Many of the woman's fingers and toes are severed, and the bottoms of her feet are charred black. The skin on one side of her face looks like melted candle wax, black and red and seeping, and the angle of her back suggests a spine in ruins. Yet for all that, her expression betrays little of her anguish.
I am already at peace, Grand Inquisitor. Are you?
So be it. If you desire no end, you shall have none. I find you guilty of heresy. May the eternal prison bar your soul from passage, for it is beyond redemption.
He nods to a hooded attendant who begins untying her from the wheel. Granted dominion of the sleepers. You open your eyes to the beamed ceiling of the palace's grand entry hall, the clangs of metal striking metal, wafted from outside, alongside the cries of the injured as you stagger to your feet. Theos is gone. The grieving mother hovers over you with wide, fearful eyes. We are surrounded by spirits of rage and fear. We must flee. Off to one side, you can hear the clinking rustle of chain mail, and you look over to see a wounded guard slumped against the wall. He is trying to say something, seemingly directed at you, but at first it is too faint to hear. He gathers his breath and manages to rasp out a few words. Lady Webb, she's the only... She must be told. She'll know what to do. Please, find her. Tell her everything. Did he have loot, though? Wait, there's no guards here. I can loot this now. Just money? Sweet. Oh, you're still here. There's rioting in the streets. The city's falling apart. Goodness gracious. We gotta build something first, though. Goodness gracious. There's fires raging. We need to get to Brackenbury. Goodness. Riot police is in full swing now. Loot. Sweet. Only 2 copper pieces. Isn't that the sanitarium? Yeah, sanitarium's not doing so hot right now. Theos would probably be after Lady Webb, too. Let's hope she's alright. Yeah, it's not looking great in here. Although there is money on these corpses. I think they all have some money.
A simple test. That's settled. I can do that. That's settled.
Let's head upstairs. Lady Webb's probably dead, judging by this scene. Oh no, she's never gonna get to celebrate with her bottle of brandy now. That's sad. I don't think she'll ever get to retire, too. Well, it's not like she's gonna miss this stuff. Whew, that was a good deal of money there. Alright. Yep, there's the purple goop. Alrighty.
A simple test. That's settled.
A fine warbow. Alrighty. Lady Webb lies still in her bed, an ornate cushion propping her back upright. The blood pooled beneath a gash in her chest is tacky and nearly dry. A shattered glass rests on the floor beneath her dangling hand. You can feel the faint aura of her fading essence in your ken. So she did get to celebrate. Okay, as a short-lived celebration. You make contact and are immersed in a torrent of sensory input and experience. When it calms, you find yourself in the same room, lying in bed with a glass of brandy in your hand. Through the walls from the streets outside come the sounds of screams and shattering glass and the cacophony of an angry mob. You take a sip, and it warms your gullet. Literally the image of this is fine. Across the room, the door opens behind a patient. Steady push. Into the room walks Theos, the floorboards creaking beneath deliberate steps. You wait until the last of the brandy has trickled down your throat before you speak.
I was a fool to think I could tame these people.
You came closer than most.
A fine epitaph.
No worse than any.
You are concentrating, focusing with all of your energy. It feels as though you are diving into a stone wall over and over, but it cracks suddenly, unexpectedly, allowing the vaguest wisp of a thought to leak through.
What's in Twin Elms?
Did you pull that from my thoughts?
I've had time to practice.
Ah.
He walks over to a small table and raises a half-empty brandy bottle to eye level. He seems to approve of the selection and begins to reach for an empty glass. So it seems like Lady Webb and Theos have a history.
I was saving that for someone.
Does this mean Lady Webb still has good intentions, or...?
Pity. You know this is how it has to be.
He draws a long, curved knife from his belt, smeared with fresh blood. With his left hand, he gently pins your sternum as he raises the knife in the other, its point dangling above your heart.
Prove it.
Theos slips the knife between your ribs and pushes it through. Layers of tissue separate with brittle, papery stiffness, and blood wells up around the blade. A pulse of reflex causes you to drop your glass to the floor, and you hear it shatter. With the last of your strength, you take his knife hand in both of yours, a question radiant in your mind. For an instant, To your great surprise, the pathway in his mind is left open to you, unguarded, and the answer comes. Simple, cataclysmic in its reordering of your thoughts. As Lady Webb, you feel as though you have an answer you've searched for all your life, but in your own mind, her understanding lies just beyond your reach. You look at Theos with the wide eye of someone seeing for the first time, and draw your last breath as a black, velvety darkness descends over you.
Smoke rises above the city walls in billowing plumes that blacken the sky like a storm. Behind the walls, the riots rage on. Known patrons of animancy are forced into hiding as looters ransack their estates and make off with their possessions. Animancers are torn away from their families and dragged from their homes to be stoned to death in the streets. Word had spread immediately that Duke Avar had been assassinated, and that an animancer was to blame. The city wasted little time in exacting revenge, and little effort into evaluating guilt. In the center of it all, Brackenbury Sanitarium burned. And down the lane, Hodred House, the last bastion of stability in the Dyrwood, had fallen silent. Now safely outside the city gate, your path points eastward to Twin Elms, where Theos is bound, for reasons that remain mysterious as the leaden key itself.
But here's the leaden key. Everyone else is just the shackles. The floods have receded. The pass through Stonewall Gorge is open. Okay. Skulls for Mother. That's a very full building. And there was Defiance Bay burning down to the ground. Animancy, specifically, burning to the ground, thanks to the rebellious nature of the dozens, I presume, as well as everyone being on high edge. Theos got away, but we shall chase him to Twin Elms. Hopefully, eventually we'll figure out this awakened nonsense and Watcher business, and perhaps fix ourselves while fixing the Dyrwood. That would be ideal. It doesn't take a majority to make a rebellion. It takes only a few determined leaders and a sound cause. This is Master Barkle from Brighthelm Recording, signing off.